But I do know that Penguin Random House felt that there was definitely more, money, if you like, to be had from him and from them with regards to carrying on writing.
That $40 million deal followed Prince Harry and Meghan into every headline when their Penguin Random House contract dropped. It sounded huge, like they were about to take over publishing and tell their story their way. The plan included multiple books and major influence, with insiders pointing to strong demand for royal insight and behind-the-scenes details. It was framed as their next move after stepping away from royal life, opening doors that used to stay shut. But things didn't play out like that. The deal that was supposed to lock in their spot as long-term offers slowly lost momentum and didn't hit as hard as expected. Mainstream outlets are only now catching up to what insiders have been saying for a while. The relationship between the Sussexes and the publisher has broken down.
Markle got that deal for the bench based on the fact that Harry was going to do the big book. And he delivered in many respects in the big book, but he didn't make them a profit. They didn't turn over a profit. Right, Penguin Random House?
From that massive deal, only one book actually dropped, and some sources say that even with solid sales, the profits may not have matched expectations. The issue runs deeper than sales. When a deal this big starts slipping and money talks get tense, it signals bigger problems behind the scenes. It also lines up with patterns seen in their other media deals. The publishing situation gives a clearer picture of why their brand has struggled to stay consistent, even after all the early hype. The publisher was betting big on access. Harry had rare insight into royal life, something almost no one else could offer, while Meghan brought recognition from the entertainment world. The strategy was simple: roll out multiple books and keep their names sitting on bestseller lists for years. Meghan's children's book, The Bench, came out under that deal, closely linked to Harry's much bigger promise, his memoir. The book landed with mixed reactions and modest sales, nowhere near enough to carry a deal of that size on its own. Many in the industry treated it like a side move, with most of the real value tied to Harry's story and what he would reveal. When Spare dropped in early 2023, attention locked in fast. The memoir delivered personal details people were waiting for, from family tension to private moments. Sales were massive at first, breaking records and taking over headlines worldwide. For a moment, it looked like a clear win for Penguin Random House, but after that surge, everything slowed down. No real updates, no clear next releases, just silence. The multi-book plan that was supposed to bring steady output and long-term success suddenly stalled with little sign of what comes next. For those paying attention, the signs showed up early. Spare looked like a huge win on paper. Strong sales, global attention, and non-stop media coverage. Copies moved fast, and Harry stayed visible through major interviews, keeping the story in circulation. But behind those numbers, another picture started to form. One publishing insider claims that even with millions of copies sold, Penguin Random House may have paid too much for the deal. Once all the costs were factored in, the math did not fully work in the publisher's favor. A release at that level comes with serious expenses, from global marketing campaigns to printing, distribution, and even the cost of a top-tier ghostwriter. According to that insider, the book may never earn back its advance. That means it would not generate enough profit to cover what was paid up front or move into strong royalty territory, even with all the attention it received. That claim matters in publishing, where earning back in advance is the basic benchmark for success. A book can sell millions and still underperform financially if the initial deal is too high. One detail also stood out. Reports said Spare was often left behind at holiday resorts, suggesting early curiosity but weaker long-term value.
Behind the scenes, the relationship with Penguin Random House reportedly became tense. One source pointed to repeated discussions about money, with ongoing questions around how much the deal was actually earning. From the publisher's side, the view was clear. The book had not brought in extra payouts beyond the original agreement. The gap between expectations and reality was not just about timing or confusion. It hinted at deeper issues in how the deal was understood and handled. One insider claimed that Harry struggled with the idea that even big deals have limits. That kind of tension does not show up overnight. It builds when both sides are working with very different expectations. Growing up in a royal setting can create distance from everyday financial pressures. Bills, budgets, and costs are often managed by others, which can make those realities feel less immediate. Even after stepping away from that life, adjusting to those limits takes time. The reported tension around money and expectations reflects patterns that have also come up in other major partnerships, including streaming deals. There were also reports of repeated renegotiations and attempts to reshape terms after agreements were already in place. Over time, that approach can strain even the strongest business relationships. After Spare, Meghan reportedly pitched 2 new book ideas to Penguin Random House, but neither moved forward. One focused on leadership and philanthropy, topics she has spoken about before. The other, mentioned in media reports, was linked to speculation about a possible divorce angle, though that claim was denied by her team. From a publisher's point of view, both ideas came with challenges. Books about leadership and philanthropy usually perform best when backed by clear, proven results, and that space is already packed with authors who have led major institutions. The second concept raised different concerns. Its reported theme would be difficult to position and promote without complications, making it a risky direction. There would still be public interest in Meghan sharing personal details about her life or any major changes. Attention around the Sussexes remains strong, and anything connected to them tends to draw a crowd. But credibility has become a key factor. Questions around past statements and inconsistencies have made it harder for publishers to fully rely on that narrative. For any new release, trust carries as much weight as curiosity. Publishers also have to think about risk, including backlash, legal issues, and their own reputation. In this case, neither proposal seemed to offer a clear, marketable path, and one insider described the outcome simply, saying the publisher was done. This situation looks like more than a pause. One insider claims Penguin Random House has no plans to publish another book from Harry or Meghan, pointing to a full break rather than a temporary setback. From a financial angle, the partnership is being described as a loss. The publisher reportedly saw the deal as an investment that did not deliver the return they expected, shaping how they moved forward. Publishing always comes down to risk versus reward, but here that balance seems to have tipped too far in the wrong direction. What stands out is how final the split feels. In many cases, authors and publishers separate but still leave the door open for future work. That flexibility does not seem to be there this time. The impact can stretch beyond one deal. Reputation and industry relationships often shape what happens next, and word moves fast in publishing, especially around difficult partnerships. Situations like this can make future deals harder to secure. A similar pattern showed up in the Sussexes' Netflix partnership. It started with major attention and big expectations, then slowly lost momentum. Early projects pulled in interest but did not fully meet those expectations, followed by reported disagreements over direction and terms. In both cases, the partnerships faded, raising bigger questions about what is driving these outcomes. Saying a major company did not understand how to handle her content can land in very different ways depending on who's listening. Moments like that can influence how future partners judge risk and collaboration. There were also smaller signals after the Netflix deal cooled. Reports noted that CEO Ted Sarandos unfollowed Meghan's accounts, a move some people read as a quiet but clear sign of where things stood. Even with the reported split from Penguin Random House, there are claims Meghan is still working on a memoir. The project seems to be ongoing, with the possibility of a deal if the right offer comes up. The challenge is how to position that story. Public interest tends to focus on her connection to royal life, while earlier parts of her career may not draw the same level of attention. That creates a balance between personal storytelling and what publishers believe will sell. The strongest draw for any memoir would likely be her perspective on royal life and her relationship with Harry. That's where audience interest is highest. But timing becomes an issue. Avoiding more controversy can limit what's shared, while those same personal details are often what drive attention and sales. There's also the question of how the story would be received, since it would reflect her personal version of events, raising concerns around perception, trust, and market response.
More recently, Harry's focus seems to have narrowed to specific areas like his security concerns and his work with the Invictus Games. The At the same time, much of the broader brand activity appears tied to Meghan's projects and direction. The original publishing deal leaned heavily on Harry's story and his access to royal life. Meghan's role, including her children's book, came through that larger agreement. Early on, their partnership looked more balanced, with each bringing a different kind of value. Now, the dynamic looks different from the outside. Meghan is more often connected to new projects and brand moves, while Harry's role can appear more in the background. Whether that comes down to personal choice or shifting opportunities, it shows a change in how their public image is set up. For someone once at the center of constant attention, stepping into a quieter position is a noticeable shift. Looking beyond publishing, a broader pattern starts to show across several Sussex ventures, with repeated struggles to meet expectations, including challenges around Meghan's lifestyle brand. Trademark violence tied to expansion plans show a wide mix of products, from wellness to home items, but noticeably leave out food. That stands out, especially since food has been part of the brand's image, and it may point to regulatory hurdles rather than the original plan. There are also signs of mixed public reaction. One online poll around an upcoming visit showed low enthusiasm, a reminder that audience interest can shift and shape overall strategy. There seemed to be an assumption that the strong response from the 2018 tour would carry forward the same way. At the time, the attention and reactions were highly positive, but public opinion does not stay fixed. Since then, several major moments have influenced how they are viewed, including interviews, documentaries, and ongoing discussion around royal life. Over time, those factors change how audiences respond. Looking ahead, the focus turns back to publishing. Interest in royal-related stories is still there, and a future memoir could draw attention, but expectations would be much higher. The biggest shift is in control. Where publishers once competed for the deal, the leverage now appears to sit more with the industry. That shift would likely show up in the terms. Huge multi-book deals with massive advances are becoming less likely, replaced by more cautious offers tied directly to proven results. On a broader level, much of the Sussex brand has been built around one core narrative: their exit from royal life and everything connected to it. That story helped secure major deals across media, publishing, and streaming. But stories change over time. What once felt new and compelling starts to feel familiar, making it harder to keep the same level of attention with each new release. Each public-family conflict adds to the story, but also leaves less for the future. Repeating the same narrative can bring attention, but it can also reduce its long-term value. The end of the Penguin Random House deal, along with similar shifts in other partnerships, points to a wider pattern. Companies that once showed strong interest now appear more cautious, suggesting expectations are changing. That creates a bigger challenge. If the brand depends heavily on personal storytelling, it becomes harder to sustain once that story reaches its limit. New ventures like lifestyle products or smaller projects do not carry the same impact. Upcoming appearances, including Australia, may test current interest. Share your thoughts and like, share, and subscribe to Crown L.